Hey, y'all. So I've had a lot of questions about how I mix my lye solution, how I prep to make soap. So this is a video solely from start to finish, how I get ready to make soap and how I make soap. So with my lye solution, I do a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 part lye, 1 part water. The reason why I do this is it cuts down on the amount of soda ash that accumulates on the tops of my soaps. It doesn't completely cut it out, but it cuts it out enough that I typically don't have to steam them unless I just want a super shiny top. So anyhow, let's prep to make 100 pounds of Lavender Goat Milk Soap. Okay, so if you are an experienced soap maker, you know you're going to need a scale and a clean bucket. Which, if you're making a small batch of soap, you know, whatever you got, just as long as it is plastic, glass, or stainless steel. So I do a 1-to-1 lye ratio. I'll go a little bit heavy on the water, not a big deal, because it's going to set overnight. And some of the water is going to evaporate, but not very much. So it calls for like 169 ounces of water. I'm going to do just a shade over 170. Ain't going to hurt a thing. And when I may say a shade, I mean by like 12 ounces. Still not gonna hurt anything, just as long as we're not under the 1-to-1 ratio. Being a little over on your water ain't gonna hurt a thing in the world. Being over on your lye will. Okay, so here we are. We've got a plastic mop bucket. Gonna zero the scale out. There we go. Let's get some gloves. Yes, I'm pulling my sleeves up. Y'all can go ahead and murder me in the comments. And I use a stainless steel cup, less static that way. So there's my bucket with my like 178 ounces of water, something like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour this in and by thirds, roundabout. Lye solution ready for tomorrow. Now let's get fragrance oils and colorants ready to go. The usage rate on my lavender soap is actually really high. The usage rate for the fragrance is super duper high. It's like above 10%. I don't use that much. I typically still stay at about 5. So these 2 bottles are plenty for the recipe. So we're just gonna leave them in the bottles and set them right there. The way I do my colorant is I pour some avocado oil in a solo cup. I used to do it in these measuring jars, measuring cups, and I got tired of washing them, so now I just do it like this. Yeah, 74 pounds of oils, and I don't color the whole batch. I just color a little bit, so I really just kind of eyeball it. Because I will fragrance the entire batch of soap, but I don't color the whole batch of soap. So I typically do about 10 heaping spoonfuls, roundabout, making a mess. Really just kind of eyeball it. I mean, it's handcrafted. It ain't gotta look the same every time. Looks about right. I'm just gonna stir it up. Nothing fancy here, y'all. Nothing fancy at all. Just stirring it. And that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll make some soap. Okay, so it is the next day. I'm all prepped. I'm ready to make soap. I've got a 100-quart stock pot right here. It's on a homemade pot tipper system. I'm fixing to start dispensing some oil out of Earl. 74 pounds of oil out of him today. And got my lye that y'all saw me make earlier. Got it cooled off, it's ready to go. Like I said, this is like 18 hours later. So let's rock and roll and make 100 pounds of Lavender Goat Milk Soap. First things first, we need to stir oil to make sure everything in there is fully incorporated. I've got an extra long stainless steel paddle just for this. Everything is well combined. Okay, so as lye sits and cools, it develops on a film on top called lye lint, or that's what I've always heard it called. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna put my stick blender in there. Gonna blend it all back together. Fragrance oil 1. So insert the short Joes. This slab of soap on my work table is almost as tall as me. So, but I'm short, y'all. I'm 5'1" with my shoes on. So anyhow, this is we got this slab here and this slab here. They're both just a shade over 50 pounds. We're gonna cut them down into loaves, and then we're gonna cut them down into bars. When it's all said and done, we should be around 240-ish bars of soap. So, come on, y'all. Let's get some soap. I see a lot of people, they'll take and slide their slabs on top of their cutters. And why y'all making life hard on yourself? A slab is a big chunk of soap. Slide that cutter on top of that slab. Makes things a lot easier. Y'all can see? Really pretty. And yes, I know that I would get fewer loaves if I cut it long ways, but it actually sets better on the multi-bar cutter like this. So, you know, this is how we're gonna work it. Now, when your slab gets down to this size, then it makes sense to slide the slab on the cutter. See, these are just kind of, just got little spots in them.